similarly, taking a look at the IPL, you're looking at if and when that happens, as you're saying, you're waiting for the government's instructions and advisories. But are you also looking at a scenario that you may have a very domestic setup in the IPL?
No, I don't think that the flavor of the IPL is that the best players around the world come and play over here.
Hmm.
And so, like Anupam said, everyone's committed to maintaining that flavor. And of course, it is going to be a step-by-step process. So we don't, you cannot expect normalization tomorrow. Uh,
Right.
the IPL is one of the greatest engagers. I mean, Anil was mentioning some numbers just now. More people watched the IPL last year than they voted for the Indian general election. So that is the kind of numbers
Right.
that are involved over there. And you know, but I feel from a sponsor front, sports and in India, cricket is the leader. So cricket has, as a leader, and should lead the way. And
Hmm.
the recovery will be, if there is something sharper than a V-shaped recovery, that is what it will be. But at the same time, we need to wait for the situation to normalize. We need to wait for the overall environment to become conducive. We need to factor in what the government advisories will be. You never know. I mean, tomorrow, if everybody coming in right now, there are no flights. At some point,
Right.
flights open and everybody needs to quarantine themselves before playing. That what is the impact of quarantine requirements globally on sport? How will that impact the schedules? Because as it is, the schedules are extremely tight. But if just imagine if you add 14 days prior quarantine, prior to you starting practice also, what impact
Yeah.
that has on schedules. So there are a lot of moving parts, and one has to look into each one of them. But having said that, like I said, we stay optimistic. Hopefully, the situation post the monsoon will improve, and we'll approach it then at that point in time.
Okay, another follow up on that, Rahul, because as you're saying, there are a lot of moving parts in this, and everything that we discussed at the moment would only be conjecture. But could you also be staring at a scenario because, whenever cricket resumes, as and when that happens, personal safety is also a criteria you need to look at. Could you be looking at a scenario where some players or individual players fearing for their own safety may then take a decision that I don't want to be playing at the moment? And would you be sensitive to that as BCCI if an individual player was to decide that?
Well, safety of every player, every individual, and not just the players. In a match that happens, even if you were doing a match without any spectators, there are a huge amount of crews, there are camera people, there are ground staff, there are a lot of people involved. Safety of every individual is of paramount importance, and every individual has the right to decide on their safety, and one should respect that.